Alright, we got Dalton. He's absolutely ready to toss the subframe in. We got the bolts here. These 4. There's also these 4 on each side of the front. Where those bolts are, who knows where Dalton put them. But, yeah, we'll have to sort that out when the time comes. Obviously, we have the issue with the mother truckers, the lower control arm bushings, so we're gonna have to sort that out later. I think it's gonna be easier for me to just buy a set of OEM LCAs that already have the bushings pressed into them, so. It would. One's missing a, oh there it is. Oh. Alright. So me and Dalton have the long bolts all tautened up. Now we're going to do these 4 front ones. And we're going to take a look at the ones that go right there on the frame rail. Yeah, she's going in a bit. Confucius.
Adam's having a lot of trouble because no one put any... Well, there is one right here.
What?
But you can't really see it.
One labeled bolt?
Yeah, we didn't label anything. Besides that. And then one other bolt that's over there.
Those 2 bolts are the most important ones though.
Yeah, so now we have a bunch of bolts. You managed to find a couple.
At the end of the day, we're just sending, if they're not threading in nicely, we're sending them home.
Yeah, so we got that bad boy.
Because you know what? When's the next time we're taking out the subframe?
Yeah.
Well, we're not now, because we literally can't, because we just sent these
This is in there for
random bolts in. We're sending them home early.
Jesus.
Get in there now. Alright, I'd say that's pretty much in there. Subframe's in. We gotta hook up the steering shaft. Luckily, 1 out of the 2 bolts we labeled when taking everything apart was the steering shaft bolt. So, hallelujah now. Dalton's wrestling with shit in here. Look at all this.
It's a goddamn mess in here.
It's fucked. So, Dalton's gonna have to deal with that. We're gonna try to put the brake master in because Dalton's absolutely tweaking about stuff and wants to do that before. Well, he wants to put that in before we get the steering shaft in.
Order of operations. If you took out the steering shaft prior to taking out the brake booster.
Ah.
Come on, man.
Nice. That's a bit of bed mass action. So, maybe Dalton's on something, probably not, but let's try to put this in. I gotta unwrap the cigarette here and then I'll slide it in. Dalton, put some nuts in the back. What do you have to say to that now?
I love nuts.
I lightly bolted up the new master while Dalton's absolutely dicking around in there. And as the great DJ Pauly D said, this looks fresh to death. And it is time to beat that beat up. Look at that. Doesn't that just look excrement? This thing looks all dicked. Hello? Why isn't there a float in here? What? Why isn't there a float?
Oh, thanks, man. I've never had a Le Croc.
What?
No.
So much better than bubbly.
Really?
The flavor's so much more decadent. Like that, you gotta drink LaCroix with your pinky out. Yeah, there you go. How's that, a little peach pear medley?
That's fantastic.
Alright, steering shaft is in. Connected. Brake master and booster are in. Dalton's just bolting up the steering column into place. You know, he's really in there doing the heinous shit. Don't know why he volunteered for that, but then we got the portioning valve up here drying. Look at this little booth setup. Very swag, because our outdoor booth is a little wet right now because it's absolutely torrential downpouring. But me and Dalton making progress. Oh, I just bailed. But basically at this point, the last thing we need to do before the engine can go in is for us to absolutely risk it for the biscuit and crawl under this hoe and fuck with some brake lines. What are your thoughts on that matter, Dalton?
I'm scared.
This weekend we could get the engine in.
think it's doable.
Or like Monday night. We'll have to get Ben's help.
Yeah.
So, and because we need to borrow his hoist too. But we definitely need. Ben's a crazy wrenchologist. He does all the wild wrenching, so we're gonna need his help. And then I gotta buy some masking tape to tape off stuff for some cushioning, so we don't beat the fuck out of our sick ass paint job. But yeah, honestly, after this video, the next video is gonna be us snoodling this absolute hoe bag into this. Obviously, got a bolt on the clutch and the pressure plate, put a new throwout bearing in the trans, and then make them have some intercourse. And we'll get that fucking thing out there, install that. Then we'll wait for Noah to arrive. He can put all that shit back on because he took it apart. And then maybe this thing will run. Still gotta relocate the fuse box, which is under the car, to there, and then tuck the harness all the way around.
Steering shaft's in.
Really?
You can pretty much drive it now.
That's sick. I gotta get that fucking Sparko quick release off there. But we're gonna crawl under there, take a look at the hydro e-brake line situation, see what the removal process is gonna look like. If it's not too heinous, we're gonna tackle it. So check back in a second. All right, Dalton and I did some insane calculations, and this line basically went from the proportioning valve into the car, connected to the hydro, and then another line went from the hydro back to the rear brake. So we believe it was an inline setup, which means we need to get one of these mother crockers
A connector.
to connect them, so it's like one line back. So,
And then we gotta find the factory e-brake.
and then somewhere in here I believe a whole factory e-brake setup, so we need to find that and try to toss it in. All right, Dalton and I got an absolute mess of lines here, but right now we're bolting up the e-brake handle, as you can see. So, and then we got to go under there and figure out where the e-brake cables go. So, give that a test. Give that a relax.
Look at
man.
that.
If we can get this e-brake to work, I'm gonna be stoked.
How's that so
Why the previous owner didn't leave the factory e-brake and then have his hydro in beats my meat. I don't know how he parked, but
Yeah. Just never parked on a headline.
yeah, that's some people can do that, I guess. But yeah, so me and Dalton are now gonna crawl under, sketchy as might, and try to take a look at what's going on underneath the car. All right, well that's pretty much today's progress. So we figured out there's already one, like a connector of brake lines under there. One of the lines is messed up, so we got to cut it, reflare the line, so we can connect them together. I think Ben has a brake flare kit. Otherwise, we'll borrow one from Crappy Tire or something. But and then we got the e-brake stuff lightly in, so can figure that out. That was good progress today. Dalton absolutely killed it with steering column, steering shaft thing, brake booster, subframe end. So that's good progress. We're pretty much getting somewhere. I just want to connect that brake line before the trans gets in the way, and yeah, then we can drop the NG on and we'll request Ben's help for that because he's Wrenchmaster 3000. Yeah, it's exciting.
It's very exciting.
So comment, like, and subscribe, and stay tuned for the March 24th drop. Coming soon on March 24th. Am I wrong?
No. You just said it twice. It's fine.
Coming soon to www.moistboys.co near you.
The boys will try to hit 10 million K.